Hey, this is Mr. Elmhorst with the help video for solving the two-step equations minor. We're going to look at this equation here. There's 3x's plus 1 is equal to 10. We're going to start with the equation and we're going to draw the line down through the equal sign. So we're focusing on the side with the variable. So we got 3x plus 1, and we're going to use order of operations, but in reverse. So when we know all of the operations, then we follow order of operations correctly. But when we have a variable, we're going to work the problem backwards. So we're going to add or subtract to help balance the equation, and then we multiply and divide. So on the left side, we have adding 1. So we're going to subtract 1, and we're going to do it equally to both sides. So that will cancel on the left side, and then we're left with 3x equal to 9. And 3 is multiplying the variable. The coefficient is 3 is multiplying x. So we're going to do the inverse by dividing both sides by 3 for the solve. So this is step 1, and then this is step 2. So we're going to end up with x equals 9 divided by 3. Continuing with problem number 2, we have 2.1 multiplying x plus 2.2, and that's equal to 8.5. We're going to set up our solving equations mat here, equals. We're going to work from the left side. And here's the variable. So step 1, we're going to subtract from both sides. This is our first step. That's going to cancel the adding of 2.2, and then we're left with 2.1x, and that is equal to 5 minus 2 is 3, and 8 minus 2 is 6. We're going to go to step 2. 2.1 times x. We're going to put a fraction line in here to represent the division, and then we're going to divide both sides by 2.1. So 2.1 divided by 2.1 is going to give us 1x, and then we go down for the solve. X equals 6.3 divided by 2.3. 5x minus 5 equals 30. So first, we're always going to add or subtract first, and then we multiply or divide using our inverses of what's happening to the variable. So we're going to move our equal sign down. Here's our variable. So we're going to do the inverse of subtracting 5. This is going to be our first step. Minus 5 plus 5 is going to cancel, so we're left with 5x equals 35. Go down here a little bit more. And then step 2, we're going to divide by 5. And that's going to be x equals 35 divided by 5. Yeah, 3x. There's 3 long algebra tiles represent x plus 1. And then we have 10 over here. So on the left side, we can start solving by taking away 1 from each side. And we get over to the math process here of using inverses. I'm going to do the flow down here. X, 3 times x. We're going to start with the adding or subtracting to solve. So step 1, we're going to add or subtract And now we're left with 3x is equal to 9. And then we're going to go to step 2. Step 2, where we multiply or divide. And this one, the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. 1x is equal to our answer. Question number 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x. 5x, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they are positive, so we're going to add 6. That is equal to 1. So now that we have our model, we're going to start solving. Here's our variable, so we're going to leave that to the last part. Step 1, we're going to add or subtract. Step 1 is adding or subtracting. We're going to do the inverse of adding 6, which is subtracting. So now we're left with 5x equals 1 minus 6 is going to be negative 5. And we go to step 2, where we're going to multiply or divide to solve. 5 is multiplying x, so we're going to inverse that by dividing both sides by 5. So now x equals negative 5 divided by 5. We have x divided by 5 plus 7, and that is equal to 5. Okay, so we're going to look at the left side with the variable. And step 1, we're going to add or subtract first. And here the opposite of adding is subtracting. And we're going to do that equally on both sides. Now we have x divided by 5, which is equal to negative 2. So we're done with step 1. Now we're going to go to step 2. So the equation has division. So we're going to multiply. We're going to undo the division, so we're going to multiply. And one way to do that is to use parentheses and represent that by multiplying both sides by 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5x divided by 5 is 1. So this cancels. Now we have x equals 5 times negative 2. Okay, so this one we don't necessarily need to solve, but we need to look at the terms inside this equation. So we have 2 times x, and then we have adding 5, which is 5 more, and is equal to 24. So right here we look at Lindsay. It says 5 times. We need 2 times. So looking at here, $5 in tips. For the rest of the week, she earns $24 in tips. So this one, there's no multiplying. There's no times in this problem. Okay, so looks like we can't use that. So Melissa wants to rent a mountain bike. So here it says $2 per hour. So that is multiplying times 2. And then it's adding 5. And let's take a look at the last one on the bottom. So this is $2 for a glass. So that's $2 more for a glass. But Claire started her own business. How many glasses? So this one, there is no multiplying for this particular one. So it looks like Melissa is the one we were looking for.